Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back by. And if this is your first time, welcome and thank you so much. I appreciate anybody coming to spend a little time here with me on my little tiny corner of the interwebs. And I hope you enjoy your time here and maybe learn something, maybe just be a super tarot geek like me and geek out on some tarot stuff. So tonight, I have a feeling this might be a long one. So it won't be a short one, at least. So you might want to grab something to drink. It is September, so what is it, September 29th? Well, technically the 29th, it has just gone midnight where I am. So those of you who are experiencing fall, I'm so jealous. God, I miss fall. But grab something cold if you were down here in the southern part of the United States. If you were in the northern part, maybe grab a cup of tea or cocoa or whatever, or maybe a glass of wine, whatever. But I want to do, I guess we're gonna call it an unboxing. I have technically opened the box, but a first impressions partial unboxing of a deck that is very special to me. And I've been wanting to do this unboxing for, dear God, 6 weeks now. Jesus, I can't believe that, 6 weeks now. And I feel, honestly, I feel guilty that I have not done so until tonight. I will explain all of that and unpack all of that, but you will see me sipping. I've been trying, I've seen that Rise mushroom coffee stuff advertised on the Instagram machine, and I'm really enjoying it, so much so that I got the nighttime version, the cocoa. So I am going to be sipping on this little spoon that came with the packaging. And you will see me sipping on nighttime Rise mushroom coffee. Sorry, mushroom hot cocoa. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm tired. So I've got the AC kind of kicked up in here so I can, it's more room temperature cocoa, let's be honest, because you can't drink hot cocoa with whatever the temperature is warm. So without further ado, this deck is super special to me. And the deck in question is the Rhythm and Soul Tarot. Oh my gosh. So before we start doing anything else, let me be very transparent, very clear. This is going to be both an honest and partially biased walkthrough, partial review discussion. The creatrix of the Rhythm and Soul Tarot is a very dear friend of mine, someone that I have the utmost respect for and just genuinely love the crap out of. A wonderful human being, a phenomenal artist, a powerhouse of a woman. And her name is Stacey Williams-Ung, and she is the creatrix of several oracle decks, several, I'm trying to think, I know I've done a review of her Cemetery, or Cemetery Symbolism oracle deck. She is the creatrix of the Southern Gothic Oracle, the Southern Botanical Oracle, and a couple of other projects. She and Mandy have another really cool tarot deck that's out. So I'm biased. This is my girl. This is my girl. And knowing about this deck not long after the concept of it became, you know, a notion, and she had just begun the creation process, and Yeah, I'm super excited. So I'm sitting here literally, guys, I'm literally trying to think, are we going to just do the unboxing and tarot? I need to start leaving timestamps because let's be honest, I talk a lot. And some people enjoy that and they enjoy having that conversation, kind of a feeling like you are sat down with a friend and having a cool conversation with somebody. Some people are like, just get to it. So are we gonna, I need to start leaving timestamps. We're gonna do story time and then I'll leave a timestamp down. So if you wanna fast forward to get to where the actual show and tell of the deck. So I'm a professional tarot reader, have been for many years. In 2020, I think I was invited to be a speaker, presenter at StarCon, STAAR Con, a phenomenal tarot readers convention, all things divination, primarily focused on tarot, but all things divination, in West Palm Beach with the wonderful Christiana Gaudet. And the first year I did a online presentation. And then I presented in person 3 years. So this coming January will be, yes, my 4th year presenting. And when I finally went in person, so the second time of me presenting, is where I met Stacey. We hit it off like a house on fire, just instantly. And it was just one of those, I've been so fortunate to meet some amazing people at StarCon who have become more than just tarot friends or, you know, sisters in the cards, so to say, who have become that plus so much more in terms of being actual, genuine people that I would call friend, not just cool acquaintance or colleague, respected colleague. They are all of that, but friends. And Stacey is one of those people. And as I said, she's a magnificent artist, a wonderful human being, mother, wife. Like, she is one of those people who just puts us all to shame because she wears so many hats and does it all so well. And we met and we just hit it off. Well, the second year, yeah, I guess it was the second year we met. And I remember us all, a bunch of us around dinner table after the classes and sessions had concluded for that day. And her saying, you know, I need to get working. I've got those Oracle decks. They're done. They're out there in the world. And it's time for me to really start getting very active in working on my baby, which is going to be this tarot deck, and discussing who she thought, because this deck is such a labor of love. And most of the people in this deck are people that she actually knows. And just kind of asking different people, oh my God, you'd be great at this card. And I think I could see you as this card. And Mercedes, you would be phenomenal at this. And Maria, you would be. So this deck is a combination of people who are very familiar in terms of pop culture and people that she personally knows. So this is the box of the Rhythm and Soul Tarot. Just look at this. Oh my God. So beautiful, so beautiful. So a tarot deck soaked in the rhythms of American music by Stacey Williams-Ung, jazz, blues, roots, and rock. This is the side of the box. And her name, Williams-Ung. And she has her own independent publishing company of La Panthère Studios. So Let's see. The original artwork captures the rich history of our shared musical heritage, bringing both joyous and soulful approach to tarot. This is truly a deck that harmonizes with both tradition and creativity. The Rhythm and Soul Tarot made me wish I still had my old vinyls. And that was a word from Nancy Hendrickson, the author of Ancestral Tarot and the Ancestral Magic Divination Kit. That's on the side, and then on the back, here we have the star card that is featured. And it says on the back, take a ride through the spirit of blues, jazz, rock, and country with a tarot that dances to the rhythm of American music. The Rhythm and Soul Tarot follows the path of the musician along the pathways of America's foundational musical genres. Jazz, so our four suits are renamed. Jazz, wands. Blues, cups suit. Rock and roll, suit of swords traditionally, and country, suit of pentacles, with richly hand-painted illustrations that tap into the signs and symbols from the American South. This tarot is not only a divination tool, but a colorful visual history of pop music in the early 20th century. Memphis made. She is a proud Memphis girl. By Stacey Williams-Ung, 80-card deck with a 220-page guidebook. So it comes with this wonderful magnetic. Do love a good tarot box, and just this as a display is going to just be so beautiful. So opening, and this was originally a Kickstarter, so because it met and exceeded its stretch goals, there are, oh, I got stickers too, yay. So we have a star card, and I love her, a personalized note. Camille, thank you for being a backer, and more importantly, thank you for being the most iconic HP the world has ever seen. Hugs and kisses, Stacey. So that will be framed, and our Queen of Jazz, who is our Queen of Wands here, if we can get it through the ring light. And then we've got some stickers here. Got the High Priestess, the Lovers, the Devil, and the Star. So those are really cool stickers. And we did make the stretch goal, and the option that I got was the Tarot Workbook. Experience the Magic and Groove of the South by Stacey Williams-Ung. So we'll open this. So when I got the package, I went on my tarot tour to the Pacific Northwest, and I got it, and packing, say no more. So this was intended to have gone with me to Seattle, and it did not make it. And I opened the exterior, so that's why the cardboard box is gone. So that's why I said this is a kind of an unboxing. And it did not make it in the case as I was rushing to leave the house at 4 a.m. And then when I realized that, and I knew I wanted to do an unboxing and showing of this deck because it's such a phenomenal deck, but also because it's my dear friend. So that's why things are partially opened. So let's see. When you open the box, oh, look at this guidebook. Chunk. I love that. So we have, oh, my box is a little torn. It's a little bit torn. That's okay because it still has the well, so the cards will still seat nicely in there in a firm way. And then the quote on the interior. And there are different quotes from different famous musicians and a poet. When I sing the blues, I think of life, sorrow, and pain. They come from my experience and my heart, a quote from Bessie Smith. In memory, everything's to happen. In memory, everything seems to happen to music, a quote from Tennessee Williams. Without a song, each day would be a century, Mahalia Jackson. And the final quote, to understand the world, you must first understand a place like Mississippi, William Faulkner. So, the guidebook. Gosh, guys, look at this. And again, these are all hand-done illustrations. And again, that is her publishing company, La Panthère. Look at this book. So it does have color illustrations. And let's see here. Oh, pretty. Oh, Stacey, I'm so proud of you. Okay, if I do all that I want to do, this video is going to be like 5 hours long. So she does have our cover page, and then she does have a bit of a few forewords from prominent people in the tarot industry and community, Erica Robinson. I am going to read one quote. A deck for all the senses. You see, hear, and feel the images of the Rhythm and Soul Tarot, the sheer joy of expression and energy within the Knight of Axes, aka Swords, will have your feet tapping. By contrast, the tempting, quote, baby boy of the Three of Axes shows that even the tough guys have a heart. The intensity of the King of Blues as he stares out from the card lets you know what hard-won wisdom is, and that he plays out his pain and creates healing within his music. A deck that truly penetrates you to your soul. I love it. A quote by Marion T. Kirk, International Tarot Consultant of the UK and dear friend. Love you, Marion. So, dedication. Dedicated to the memory of my father, Dale, who taught me how to listen, to love, and to forgive. Thank you for laughing at my jokes, encouraging me to be an artist, and letting me sit in the front seat and sing along with your 8 tracks. I will always love you. Rest in power. How beautiful. So we have our table of contents. Acknowledgements. Oh, Stacey McVeigh, what's up, girl? So all the acknowledgements, then we have the foreword. Oh, I want to read all of this to you guys, but like I said, this will be a 726-hour video. This is a guidebook. This is a serious guidebook that is well worth taking the time to read, look at, study, take notes, so that you really understand the creation process of how the images were chosen, and just so much of the meaning that goes into her depictions. This is a Rider-Waite Smith based deck, but how much goes into her depictions of the cards? Oh my God, I love it. Musical alchemy. Like, this is so cool, like the musical alchemy of like the 4. So the major arcana card for the 4 is the Emperor, who has been renamed in her deck, but how she goes on to explain how a musical 4th goes into so much of the meaning of the number 4 and with the tarot of the Emperor. God, so awesome. So then first off, she goes and talks about the major arcana. Then she goes into explaining her version of what numbers and numerology means. Then again, we have the 4 suits and how and why she came up with that. And then on to the majors, and then each suit all the way through. Oh gosh, so excited for this. So I cannot wait to dive into that. So the cards come in this beautiful velour. Oh wow, I'm having a childhood moment, you guys. Okay, story time, because that's what I do. This just, wow, I haven't thought of this in many decades. There were 2 shirts that I had as a little girl, and I must have been about, this must have been about 5th grade. And one was this shade of blue, and the other one was more of a dusky kind of blue, but they were my favorite, 2 of my favorite shirts, and they were in this velveteen velour long sleeve. So wow, that's a cool memory. But this is the tarot pouch that she has for us, and which is great because if you want to keep it in a box, you can. Want to put it in the tarot pouch, you can. And look at the quality of the embroidery work on here. And that is an album. That's a 45, because back in our day, we listened to records, y'all. So the deck, and it comes in shrink wrap. So to keep them nice and safe and protected. So I'm gonna, here's my scissors to delicately cut open. And remove the plastic. Oh gosh, you guys. So the gold gilding on the sides. Oh man. The cardstock. Excellent quality cardstock. So if you are a professional reader and you use this deck, this is going to stand the test of time. And because Stacey is not only a deck creator, she's also a professional reader, she understands, as well as an artist with such integrity in her work. Yes, of course, the quality of cardstock. So without further ado, the full, and I don't know who this precious little girl is, but I'm almost positive this is a child that Stacey does know. If that doesn't just capture, and she's got her little guitar and the butterflies floating behind her and kudzu growing in the tree as she's running down a dirt road as we have in the South. And boy, that brings back memories for me. Not the guitar, but the kudzu down a country dirt road in the South. And just that freedom, full of just joy and excitement of what's down that road. So it is more of a current day meets nostalgia kind of a deck. And if you watch my videos in the past, you know I'm always like, I don't like modern decks. As a general rule, I don't. This is a major exception. So the Magician, this is her friend Jay that I had a chance to meet. He does live here in New Orleans. And sorry guys, they'll bring light. One day I'll have great natural lighting. And Jay is he is a magician. He is a jack of many trades, master of many. He is a fantastic musician. He is a chef. he is a very spiritual, very strong spiritual practitioner. So Jay is the magician. And well, what have we here? I believe it might be the High Priestess. Who could it be? So ridiculous. When she asked me if I would be her High Priestess, and didn't even know that that's my go-to card for if I'm going to like a deck, or like this is my quintessential card for how I feel about a deck in general. I've got to love the High Priestess. And so she asked me to be her High Priestess, and I was over the moon, and I am still so deeply touched. And again, how Stacey brought her own such a special, unique take on the traditional meanings of the Rider-Waite-Smith system. I could talk forever, but yes, as a woman who lives in New Orleans and whose family came from up the river road, and just the magic of the swamp and the nature of being a priestess and the Luna moths, and how the swamp is that brackish, and you know, the High Priestess associated with liminal space and the brackish water. Oh my gosh, I am honored. So she is renamed the Empress to be the Mama, and that is a very traditional Southern term of endearment or name for grandma, and the Emperor as the Papa, sitting on the porch. The Preacher, so our Hierophant has been renamed the Preacher, and this gentleman is an actual Unitarian preacher, and the nod to the very traditional way of the baptism in the river. And he's all tatted up in real life. So again, this cool spin on the traditional, and look at Stacey's beautiful artwork. Look at this Lovers card. It's like they are the only ones in the room. They have clearly made a choice, and it is each other, blocking out any and all other distractions from making the choice of each other. Pink Cadillac for our Chariot. I don't know who the name of our Strength card, but this is someone Stacey knows personally, and she said when she saw her, she knew she would be the most perfect person for the Strength card, which she has renamed Passion, which I think is a perfect renaming of that card. Look at this Hermit. But the Hurricane Lantern. Is that a waxing moon, waning moon? Almost looks like an eclipse, but waning moon. And just how, look how she's able to capture the light and the shadows. And yeah, Wheel of Fortune, jukebox. Like, how perfect is that? Look at the Justice card. If I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, I think this is a nod to Mahalia Jackson. Let me just take a quick look here. Yes. And I'm seeing that she goes into, again, explain who's on the card, how they relate to the traditional meaning of the Rider-Waite-Smith. I love Upside Down as the renaming. The Death card. And that is, I'm pretty sure, someone Stacey knows. For Temperance, Harmony. Because again, this is a musical deck. How perfect. She definitely knows the devil. That is a personal friend of hers. Like, how badass is that? The Tower, and this was a very specific statement that she was making as a nod to all of the traditions of slavery, and that came with the giant mansions and, you know, the meaning of the Tower card, something that was built upon a foundation that just could not possibly stand long term, and how that destruction can lead to the ability to rebuild. The Star card, that is a friend of hers. And I got to see, it's cool because I got to see a lot of the pictures of, oh, look at that. Older gentleman playing the blues under the moonlight. The Sun, how perfect, because Sun Record Company in Memphis, and it's so cool. I got to go with Stacey to that actual building, which was a huge part of how the music that we all know, or music that's derived from rhythm and blues, that was where things were recorded. The Aeon, how about them apples? Little Richard there. I don't know who this World card is, if that's a friend of hers, but I love her. And she has the glyphs for the different astrological signs. So you do get extra cards. We have the rhythm, and look at that. And that's what's on the front of the book. So the rhythms of nature, with the lightning bugs and the frog and the swamp and the trees and the water flowing. So the rhythm of nature, the rhythm of life. So for her, that is Major Arcana 22. Major Arcana 23 is the Soul card. God, look at the richness of the colors and how she's able to capture the expressions and the energy and the intention. And if you look up there, reflected, it's like the soul leaving her body almost. So our wands, Ace of Jazz, the clarinet, which there's a mural down in the CBD. So a lot of this is, again, because the South. So, excuse me, can't swear that this could just be because this is, you know, musical instrument, but there is a cool mural. And Stacey is a professional, is muralist? Yeah. Is muralist a word? I don't know. Artist who does murals, though. This is right there in Jackson Square. So the 2 of Jazz, that is right there in Pirates Alley. The 3. Oh, not the nod to wrap it up. The 3 of Jazz. The battery on my phone. 4 of Jazz. Look at that happiness and joy, like the Lindy Hop. The 5 of Jazz with the wands, and believe me, egos in competition during Mardi Gras season to grab things. Speaking of which, our beautiful Mercedes that I mentioned as our 6 of Jazz, but it's on a Mardi Gras float. She is a queen of whatever Mardi Gras crew that Stacey has created with the children. So how perfect is that? The 7 of Jazz. It's so cool to realize the things that she and I had conversations about on the phone, and just to have been a part of some of the thought process and the creation and choices that were made. No, sir, you cannot have my mushroom hot cocoa. The flambeaux, incredibly fascinating part of our history here in New Orleans. Again, there's so much I want to say, but we're already at 34 minutes and we're only halfway through the deck, and I have 20% left on my phone. Drumsticks for the 8 of Jazz. Look at this 9. Again, just look at how Stacey captures him shaking the camera. how she captures the intensity, the depth of emotion and feeling. Oh my God. 10 of Jazz. Look at our little page of Jazz blowing his saxophone with his little hat on. The Knight of Jazz. So much of this is such a nod to New Orleans because it is the birthplace of jazz. How beautiful. Is that, let me just take a look-see right quick. Because I know who the King of Jazz is for sure. Yes, this is Lil Hardin Armstrong. This was Louis Armstrong's wife. And she was, yeah, a huge part of how Louis Armstrong had his success. Buddy Bolden, the King of Jazz. And if you come down here and do a tour with me, maybe we'll get to go to that cemetery. So our blues is our, so the old-fashioned jug for our cups, our Ace of Cups. Little moonshine jug there. Look at this 2 of blues. How beautiful. Isn't that awesome? I don't know if there's honey that they've collected, or is that a moonshine that they've collected? The beauty of the 3 of Cups. Look at the fluidity in the water. The beauty of that sunrise, the joyful camaraderie and sisterhood as they are being baptized in the river. If this does not say 4 of blues, dear God, Stacey, is this Old Milwaukee or Natural Light cans? This may be the most 4 of Cups I've ever seen. The 5 of blues. It's like she's just come from a funeral. You can't even see her face, but she still just captures between the landscape and her posture and her stance of that such grief and loss. Look at the joy of this 6 of Cups, that childhood, reminiscing of so many people in the South who grew up in the Baptist church. Our 7, ooh, with all kinds of potions and moonshine and whatnot in the mason jars. The 8. There's so much I could say about each one. The 9. The spotlight on him and all his moonshine jugs back there. Look at this beautiful family on the 10 of blues for our 10 of Cups. And that dog, by the way, is actually Stacey's dog. Currently. Our little page of blues. The Knight. Queen of Blues. Is that a nod to Coco Taylor? Oh, wow. I opened almost to the right page perfectly. Is that... Bessie Smith. I was about to say that doesn't look like Coco Taylor, but yeah, Bessie Smith. Robert Johnson, making deals with the devil. Our axes are the swords. So Ace of Axes, Ace of Swords. 2 of Swords, Leslie. This is our friend Leslie. And again, I remember being seated around the table and talking about who was going to be who in the deck. Nod to James Dean. The quote that Marion wrote about that 3, 4 of Axes. How could she get a good night's sleep without her axe, with or without her prized possession of the guitar? A nod to the 50s bad boys. 5 of swords there, 5 of axes, 6 of axes here. 2-lane blacktop highways in the south. Look at this one. Talk about being a fink. Sneaky Pete there, stealing all the records. Christiana Godet, who is a singer and I don't know if she's a guitarist, but she definitely is very proficient in playing the ukulele. And she and her friends have had a musical group for quite some time. And that is Christiana. That 9 of axes. The 10. So again, totally different. Not at all our traditional take of the 10 swords in the back, but absolute just destruction and the heartbreak and the pain. Can we pick up the pieces or do we just have to start fresh? So such a different take, but so cool. Look at this one. He is, this kid, this kid reminds me of the Page of Axes. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? That kid from the, oh God, from the Instagram reel. But he looks very precocious as a Page of Axes should. Total essence of rock and roll. Our queen of rock and roll axes. Oh my gosh. Ouch, feline, that hurts. Let's see. Who is this? Bo Diddley? Chuck Berry. Gotta be Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry. Maybelline, why can't you be true? And now on to the roots, since we're at 42 minutes. Ahem. Is this a dulcimer? Not sure. I think it's a dulcimer. So it's used in country music. 2 of Pentacles, juggling her records. Look at this fantastic 3 of Pentacles. Oh gosh. This 4 of Pentacles. So again, totally non-traditional, but playing the washboards with the spoons is such a traditional Southern musical instrument that people still in the French Quarter will sometimes I'll see playing, but it still captures so much of what the 4 of Swords means. 5 of Swords. If that does not say the 5 of Pentacles, I don't know what does. This cat. Sir, I'm almost finished. The 6, now don't quote me, but I think that that is Stacey's actual grandmother, with something very valuable to share to someone who may be in need of. Fresh baked cornbread. Look at that 7 of Pentacles, stepping back to admire his hard work, all those gold and platinum records. 8 of Roots. A nod to the coal miners. The 9 of Roots, our friend Maria. A brilliant tarot reader herself. And the 10 of Roots. We have our Page. Our Knight. Our Queen. And our King. So I'm going to do a little shuffle. Yeah, these cards. So they are a good size. I always try to let people know about the size of cards because Sometimes people, depending on the size of your hands, might have a hard time shuffling. These shuffle very smoothly. But again, I do have pretty big hands, but I would say these are pretty much standard, maybe a little bit larger than a standard deck. And because I'm a deck modifier, if you have the Noble Moon Tarot, yeah, it's about the same size as the Noble Moon Tarot for reference. It does have a border, and if you know me, you know I'm not really a fan of borders. But, because I want to see as much of the artwork expanded across the card as possible. But I think they're fine. And of course, we do have the name of the card there. Now, can we riffle shuffle with these? Not so much that way. If we do it on the side, yes, if you do it on the side, as a riffle on the side, you can. But they are thicker, so I would say this deck is really going to shuffle best hand over hand. So, final thoughts. Oh, what flipped out? The Queen of Roots. And my primary significator that I would call for myself. So let's just read a little bit right quick. I mean, hell, we're at 46 minutes. What's 2 or 3 more? Support, motherhood, healing, softness, nature, earthy, big-hearted. True leadership involves actively guiding and coaching your team, not just delegating tasks and giving orders. You have to put in the effort, just as a gardener does through digging, watering, and feeding her plants. And I'm just gonna skim. The Queen of Roots sits on her throne of twisted roots, wearing a voluminous and glorious green dress, smiling from ear to ear and holding her guitar as if to play a tune for us. She is inspired by great women from country music like Loretta Lynn and Kitty Wells. When the Queen of Roots appears in a reading, she suggests the powerful version of leadership that comes from a good teacher and role model. She nurtures like a gardener. A good gardener knows that the way to make plants grow is by creating an environment in which the plants can thrive. You introduce the right balance of elements and they will succeed. And then, because she has a song to go with each card, Queen of Roots song, You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man by Loretta Lynn. Oh my gosh. I'm going to quickly open this to skim through this right quick just to show you guys. If anybody's made it thus far, thank you. I'm so glad that you enjoy hanging out with me on a screen enough to still be in there with me at 48 minutes. So again, left hand there on the back. This is the front. So it's a workbook. Yeah. So it's basically for you to do your daily draws. So it's a journal. And she does give a little bit about how to do the tarot spreads. And, oh, cool. Songs and spreads inspired by songs. Spreads for family, spreads for love and friendship, career, creativity. So, yeah. Now, again, because this was a Kickstarter, and then a lot of space in the back for notes, a good amount of space for notes in the back. Because this is a Kickstarter, I'm not sure if this is available, but if you go check her out on La Panther Studios, you will find out. And the gorgeous backs of a vinyl record. So, thank you all so much. I'm in my cozy, one of my favorite cozy t-shirts, and I'm going to finish my cocoa. If you made it thus far, thank you. And if you did, do me a favor, just drop a blue heart. Drop a blue heart emoji. And that way I will know that you made it. Sending you all the good things, all the good wishes, all the blessings, and thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll probably do another super short, just flip through for those who just want to see what the cards are. Until the next video.